Hello, I'm Andrew Campbell from Ashridge Business School. An operating model. An operating model is a document. Think of a blueprint for a building. It's a document which helps managers convert strategy into operational decisions. It helps the managers think about how they're going to design and set up the operations. It helps the head of operations think about the processes that he or she is going to put in place and the capacity that they need and the supply chain processes that will be set up. It helps the head of human resources think about the organization structure that's appropriate, the people, the type of people that are needed in the organization. It helps the head of property and buildings decide where the buildings are required, what sort of buildings are required. It helps the head of IT think about the IT architecture that will be needed to support the organization. So an operating model is a really important step between strategy and all of those functional decisions that get made by experts in their particular functional areas. An operating model can be a single page, but it can also be, and is more normally useful, in about a 10-page document, covering a number of aspects. You can also have a much more detailed operating model in a 100-page version, or, and here you're getting to the level of an operating manual, like a McDonald's franchise agreement, which might be a 1,000-page document. What I want to focus on in this video is the 1-page and the 10-page document. Now, the 1-page operating model is called an operating model canvas. And for those of you who are familiar with a tool called Business Model Canvas, then the operating model canvas covers the back end of the business model canvas. This is the activities, resources, and partners part of the business model canvas. The operating model canvas replaces those three elements with 5 alternatives or further developments, enhancements. Processes, suppliers, locations, organization, and information. So the operating model canvas is taking the PAR, the P-A-R, of the business model canvas and substituting that with POLISM of the operating model canvas. Work on an operating model canvas will start when there is clarity about a value proposition that an organization is trying to deliver, whether it's a whole business trying to deliver a product to a customer, some kind of product or service combination, or it could be an internal function like human resources trying to deliver a compensation and benefits plan for top management. So clarity about the value proposition is the starting point. Then work on the operating model canvas will begin with laying out the work steps that are needed to deliver that value proposition, that output. And around this set of work steps, the canvas has spaces for suppliers to those work steps, locations, where are those work steps going to be done, which countries, which buildings, which parts of which buildings. Organization and people, what sort of people are going to do the work steps and how they're going to be structured. And information, what sort of software applications are going to be needed to support those work steps. Here is an operating model canvas for Uber. Now you can see this is a document with a lot of post-it notes stuck on it. And the core thought here is, what's the value proposition that Uber is trying to deliver and what is important about its operations for delivering that value proposition. Now, typically a canvas like this is developed by a group of managers standing around or sitting around, maybe with a flip chart, thinking about what's important, writing it on Post-it notes, sticking it on the flip chart, and then discussing what they've done and trying to agree on what's important and what isn't important, what items should be on the canvas and what shouldn't be on the canvas. By having a limited amount of space, the canvas forces focus on what's really important, and it has a huge value in that, and therefore generating some quite tough discussion between the managers. On the Uber one, then the value proposition is to provide low-cost taxi service, and also to provide the rider, the client who is using the taxi, with more information about when their taxi is coming and what the price is going to be, and so on. And so these are two big benefits for the user of the taxi service. One of the steps in the value chain to deliver that value proposition is the software in the Uber platform that matches the riders to the drivers with a dynamic pricing model. So when there are lots of drivers available, the price is lower than when there are very few cars available. And of course, that dynamic pricing model is very helpful in ensuring that the riders, the clients, get an appropriate price, and ideally appropriately low price, when they want to take a taxi. The next example is an example of a human resources function within an online retailer. And this retailer has 3 business units. And what it's trying to do is to deliver integrated HR services to those business units and to the corporate functions that support those business units. And it does this by having business partners, HR business partners, who integrate the services of HR for the benefit of those business units. And the different services are compensation and benefits, talent, management, development, organization development, and HR consulting. And then supporting those services, there is an analytics team who are doing analysis of the human resource issues in the company. And then around this core, laying out the value chains of this human resources function is information about the locations and the organization structure, and in this particular case, they have rather good information systems which make it possible to do powerful analytics at the front end of their work. The third example is of a charity. This charity is called Cardboard Citizens, and it's set up to help people who are homeless, mainly, to try and rebuild their lives, interestingly, through improvised theatre or through theatre. They involve homeless people in producing theatre, and that can give these people insights into their life and their abilities, which can transform their lives. And Cardboard Citizens has 3 value chains delivering different value propositions, all really aimed at getting homeless people back into the mainstream of life. So the operating model canvas can be used to help managers convert their strategy into decisions about how to set up and design their organizations and their operations. To learn more about this tool and to learn more about what is an operating model, do get a copy of my book, Operating Model Canvas. Thank you.